Happy Mother's Day! Today we're gonna make something beautiful for your mom, a beautiful card. So let's go and press her. Let's go. To start for our Mother's Day card, 2 size round brushes, pencil, black marker, confetti glitter, this amazing Elmer sparkle glue that I'm obsessed with, eraser, watercolors, some water, and some paper towel. And of course, our paint pad paper. So let's go. Okay, so let's start off with our construction paper paint pad. So it's a little bit thicker. We're gonna fold it in half. And on the corners here, I always like to press my finger and just kind of go up and down. Flip it this way, take your 2 fingers, squeeze it, whoop, and there you go. So for this card, we're gonna do it a little different. We're gonna keep it horizontally. What's horizontal and vertical? Horizontal, vertical. So vertical is up and down this way, and horizontal is a longer format, landscape format, from left to right. So we're gonna do it this way because we're going to do a big, beautiful hibiscus in the middle, and we're gonna use that flower as the O in mom. And then we're gonna do 2 pretty M's on the side. So let's start with the flower. Get our pencil and let's go. So hibiscus is a very beautiful tropical flower. So we're gonna start here in the middle. And it's kind of like a star with a lot of sharp edges. So you wanna do kind of like a pow burst here. Now we're gonna do the petals. But actually, before we get into the petals, let's do the stem. So you want to go up, ooh, and down like that. It gets a little bit thicker at the edge here. Then we're going to have a little heart to make it Mother's Day-ish. We're going to have some of these petals coming out. And then with hibiscus, they have a lot of little spikes with pollen. Who loves pollen? Bees and butterflies do. They love it. There we go. So we have little circles for the pollen. Now let's start with our petals. So we're going to start with 1 big petal here. Okay. Going to go to the side. So if you ever go to Hawaii or Florida or any of these tropical places, Puerto Rico, you are going to see a lot of hibiscus flowers. They're big, beautiful flowers. They're pink, red, yellow, sometimes white. Here we're gonna have 1 big petal, and it's gonna be behind the flower stem, okay? I'm gonna do a couple little lines here, just for a little dimension. And we, like I said, are using this flower for the O in mom. Now I'm going to take my pencil and do the M. So I'm going to do a little bit of cursive. I know a lot of schools aren't teaching cursive, which is a bummer because every kid should learn cursive. But for the M in mom, we're going to start with a line like this and then go down. Now we're going to do little mountains for the M. 1, 2, and I'm going to curve this line up into the flower, just like that. So there's an M, our big O, and we're going to do another cursive M here. Line and down, just like that. And now let's do little mountaintops. 1, 2, and curve to off the page. There you have it. So now we are going to first watercolor the flower, and then at the end when it dries, we're going to outline the whole thing in a black marker and make a boom, pop. So let's start with the bigger round brush. We're going to wet it. And we're going to take some hot pink here, because I'm going to make my Mother's Day card for my mom, which would be Adri's Grammy. I am going to make it very tropical pink. So I'm taking all the petals and doing some pink closest to the flower, not on the outside petals. On the outside petals, we're going to blend a different color. Keep getting it wet. With watercolors, you don't want it to be too dry. So we're gonna go here. And you can see every petal with watercolor. That's so beautiful about it. Every petal looks a little bit darker or lighter. So here we're going to be very careful not to get into the stem. But if you do, just remember that's okay, because we're going to go back over it. See, we can go over the pollen here because we'll go back into that when it's dry. So now you're going to see a lot of wets and pink, and then here in the white sections. So let's clean up our brush. Dab it on the paper towel. Now let's go for this beautiful light pink. So I'm going to blend light pink with the hot pink. And I'm going to do that at the tip of the petals. Wet it, some more light pink, and let's keep on blending here. That's the beautiful thing. Little mistake here, that's okay. Let's rip off a little piece of this paper towel, roll it up. And this is why my kids love watercolor, because you can just wipe it right off. A lot easier to clean up than paint. Plus, we're gonna outline it with Sharpie, and Sharpie helps forgive when you go out of the line, so don't worry about that. Some more light pink for the tip here. So pretty. Love it. A little bit here. Beautiful. Now what we're going to do, we're going to rinse this off. There we go. And to add some dimension, I'm going to add a little bit of this honeysuckle yellow. It's kind of like a golden yellow. Get it super wet so it blends in. And I'm just going to kind of let it bleed through the petals like that. Just to give it a little color. There we go. I'm going to rinse that off. Now we're going to take the smaller rounded brush, wet that, and let's do the stalk. So for the stalk, I'm going to do a bright lemon yellow. Now don't make it too watery. Dab it on the paper, get it nice and thick, the paint, because you don't want it too watery to where it bleeds into the petals. So if you keep your brush semi-dry, it almost applies like regular paint instead of watercolor, just making it easier to spread. I'm going to do little dots here for the pollen. Okay, and in the middle here, I'm going to do a deep red. And since it's very watery, I'm going to dry the brush, do the red again, and you can see that the pigment is stronger. And I'm going to just kind of make little marks out so it kind of bleeds out. And for the little red heart here, I'm going to take this deep red again, not too wet, and I'm going to paint the little heart at the top because it's adorable. There we go. So cute for Mother's Day. And I'm going to take a little more of the red and do these little petals lightly. Perfect. Okay, so now let's let this dry for 5 minutes. Come back, outline it in Sharpie, and make it fabulous. So go ahead and pause that, let it dry, and we'll come right back. You can see all I did was let it dry a little bit, outline all the pencil with black marker, and now we are ready for the magic glitter glue. So you kind of want to shake it like a ketchup bottle. Squeeze it a little bit there. Get all the bubble out. And now we are going to do a little design inside the flower with some lines. And this is going to be great if you go to Hallmark you know, Walgreens, any of these stores where you get pre-bought Mother's Day cards, you're gonna see sparkles. So I think adding a little bit of sparkle to your Mother's Day card is just gonna make more professional, beautiful, and amazing. So I never recommend dipping straight from the jar. So I always put a little bit in the cap, and then you can sprinkle exactly where you put your glue. It's just easier for you to manage. And you don't waste so much glitter, so you have more glitter for your next project. I didn't even use the whole thing, as you can see here. So I'm gonna go shake this off on top of the garbage can, come back, and you can see the finished product. All right, so here you can see how it came out. It's so beautiful, it's perfect. I can open it up, write a beautiful message about how awesome my mom is here. And when she wants to decorate, it stands up perfectly by itself. That's the beauty of using a paint pad or construction paper, something thicker than regular piece of paper for your card. So here you have it. Happy Mother's Day.